2 million new cases annually. And unfortunately, most of them occur in the low and middle income countries. And globally, only less than 10% have access to endovascular therapy. So this is not different than what we have in our country. In Pakistan, this is not the actual data. This is an estimated data from relevant studies, majority in India, that 350,000 new strokes every year. And every onset of stroke is 10 to 15 years younger than the West. We have limited stroke-ready centers, and there are delays in imaging, transport, and referral networks. So, what does an ischemic stroke? Most likely is due to sudden arterial occlusion, and neuronal death begins within minutes. We will talk about this core and penumbra in a while. And in brain, time is brain, and time is money. Every minute, 1.9 million neurons are lost. So we have to be quick to recover. So what does a stroke team means? In AQ, we have developed a stroke intervention team which comprises of the ER team, neurology, radiology, and IR. Direct to CT protocol means that as soon as a patient with a stroke, acute stroke arises in the triage, a communication is established on a WhatsApp group, and patient is directly taken to CT. So the delays are not there. Meanwhile, before transferring the patient to CT, the basic things are established in the ER by the ER team. Oxygen saturation is maintained more than 94%, and the blood pressure should be less than 185 to 110 millimeter of mercury, and glucose level are checked. So what is the protocol? The patient come from the ER, patient come to CT, we rule out hemorrhage, and we calculate aspects. This is a scoring system. We'll talk about that later. And if it is acceptable range, we proceed to CTA. Confirm large vessel occlusion. If there is a large vessel occlusion, patient is directly wheeled into the IR suite. There are certain indications of the CT perfusion and MRI-based protocol which have limited. Since we have at AKU, we are doing strokes only if they come at within 6 hours period. If more than that, these tests have value, and we will discuss later. So what is the aspect scoring? This is a 10-point scale assessing MCA territory ischemia, and we need to have aspect greater than 6 if we want to do intervention. So how that is calculated? This is aspect scoring for the anterior circulation. Every area is assigned 1 mark, and if there is stroke in any one of these territory, 1 mark is deducted, and then the final calculation is done. If it is greater than 6, then 6 or greater than 6, we can proceed. If it is less than 6, then we won't. Similarly, it is a posterior circulation aspect. What is the difference between this and the previous one? Here, the medulla, the midbrain, and the pons are given 2 points. So if there is a stroke in, if there is ischemia in pons or midbrain, we deduct 2 points each. So this, so again, the rule is same. Greater than 6, we proceed. Otherwise, so. What is important of defining large vessel occlusion on CTA, that ICA, M1, M2, basilar vertebralitis, they constitute large vessel occlusion, and these account for about 30 to 40% causes of ischemic stroke, and it leads to major morbidity if untreated. So this early window period, what is the importance that if NIHS score is greater than 6, aspect is greater than 6, and we have confirmed large vessel occlusion CTA, we proceed without delay for thrombectomy. So we, as soon as we get an information on WhatsApp group that the patient is there for his stroke, we try to hold CT reserved for that patient, and we stop calling new patient in IR. Unfortunately, we only have 1 IR suite, so if the patient is on the table, the patient has to wait. But if we are waiting for another patient, we hold on every patient until this decision is made that we are going to proceed or not. So what is the rationale for embolectomy? Is mechanical thrombectomy is that high rates of reperfusion are achieved, and it has proven benefits up to 24 hours in select patient. We only do up to 6 hours, but it can benefit in up to 24 hours. Again, just to revise, suspected strokes, CTA, CT, plus minus perfusion, evaluate eligibility, IVTPA if within 4.5 hours, and proceed to mechanical thrombectomy if large vessel occlusion. So we'll talk about this, what is the importance of this TPA. So while the patient is patient is waiting for the thrombectomy, we need to have take consent, family consent, and some time is definitely lost. So if the patient is within 4.5 hours window, IVTPA is started, and it improves recanalization in 30% of cases in which there is proximal occlusion. But it's a good bridge and improves outcome as proven in this research study of 2023. The dose is 0.9 milligram per kilogram, maximum 90 milligram, and this is administered after ruling out hemorrhage. So this is basically given after CT, planned CT, before CTA, and before IR. Contraindication for TPA, recent stroke or head trauma, intracranial hemorrhage or tumor, platelets less than 100,000, INR greater than 1.7, and uncontrolled hypertension. So once we decide that we have to go for angio and mechanical thrombectomy, these are the routine steps which are taken, and we calibrate the vessel which is occluded, and then there are choices available whether to use solitaire, the stent retrievers, or you aspiration catheters. There are different types of aspiration. So we have solitaire in our department. We use Sophia, or another catheter is called React. So most of the cases are done with aspiration technique only. This is called adopt, means a direct aspiration in first pass for the clot. Some centers combine both simultaneously, that they put in solitaire as well and do aspiration as well, but it increases the cost tremendously. We most of the time use aspiration catheter. Coming into one, this is 28-year-old female with no known comorbids, acute left side weakness for 5 hours, CT, CTA. So no major infarct established. After this decision was to go for CTA, and during CTA we found that there is occlusion of the left left middle cerebral artery in the M2 level, and this is the CTA. Patient was taken to IRCU. This was the initial angio, and this was the after first pass of aspiration catheter. Only in the single pass this was aspirated, and this was the outcome. So patient, most of the patients, if they are within the 6-hour window, they start improving while on the table. Complications which can be encountered are vessel perforation or dissection, less than 5% cases, symptomatic intracranial hemorrhage, 4 to 6% of cases, and this most of the time occurs if the infarct is established and we do reperfusion. Embolization to new territory while we are trying to aspirate the clot dislodge and goes into a small vessel which we cannot aspirate. Reocclusion is rare. So I mentioned at the beginning that we will talk about core versus penumbra. So that was the straightforward cases. Within 6-hour window, simple aspect good, and large vessel occlusion. But what if a patient presents legs? So in such patient, we have to differentiate between core infarct, that is the infarcted non-salvageable tissue, and penumbra, that is a hypoperfused, potentially salvageable area. So objective is to restore reperfusion rapidly to safe penumbra. And for this core infarct, there is cerebral blood flow is less than 30%, and while in penumbra, the time to peak is greater than 6 seconds. So this is an example that this is the large area of infarction. This is established infarct. This is the core infarct, and this is another case showing the penumbra. So if we have good penumbra, the chances of recovery or saving the brain tissue are much more. So in such cases, this is an example. This was a 66-year-old male and presented with wake-up stroke. In wake-up stroke, we are not sure when the actual incident happened. So initial NIHSS score was 14, CT shows no, internal hemorrhage aspect was 10. CT subtle area of ischemia probably, but aspect and since it was a wake-up stroke, we proceeded to MRI and we see the mismatch between diffusion and flare images. So there was significant mismatch. It means there is a lot of tissue which can be salvaged, and we proceeded for angio. This was the initial angio. This was complete occlusion at the tip of the internal carotid artery, only minimal trickle of contrast. This is the lateral view. So this was after the aspiration. We have to do multiple aspiration in this case as compared to the previous case in which only single pass was sufficient. So this is another complicated case. 62. This was about a month back. A 62-year-old male presented with history of diabetes and hypertension, acute left-sided weakness for 3 hours. When we performed CT and CTA, CTA aspect was good, but on CTA there was occlusion of the right MCS M2 segment. No definite slight. Maybe the aspect was 8 or 9. And when did CTA of the neck, there was complete occlusion of the right ICA is occluded, and there is a dense calcification there. So this was chronic occlusion that was complicated with development of a clot. So after much discussion, we decided that we should proceed. So we first of all, this was the initial angio. There is complete occlusion of the internal carotid artery. This was recannulated. These are all branches of the external carotid arteries, and we recannulated this vessel, dilated and extended, and this was the final picture of the ICA that we were able to restore flow into the ICA, and ICA is seen going intracerebrally. So then we took care of this clot. And we have to do more than one pass in this case. So this was the final picture after clot extraction. So let's have some brief literature review. Early evidence of mechanical thrombectomy was presented in 2004 by Mercy Retriever. This has low success and high complication rate, and people were not very successful in using it. But in modern era, there are multiple stent retrievers available and aspiration catheter. This has revolutionized this mechanical thrombectomy. This is the first trial, Mr. Clean trial, which was published in 2015, of comprising of 500 patients, and it functional independence after treatment was 32.6% versus 19.1% in untreated patient.
Sir, 5 minutes left.
This is another study, again published in 2015. It shows it shows benefit slightly up to 8 hours. This is another study again. It showed robust benefit when performed within 6 hours. So extended. These are the two trials which have changed, which has brought a paradigm shift. And they have included patient up to 24 hours. This is 6 to 16 hours, this is for 24 hours, and they have brought in the concept of the tissue window, that if there is, rather than calculating the time, we look for the penumbra and the core infarct, and these have shown that small core, large penumbra is eligible for mechanical thrombectomy. So people have started doing up to 24 hours. So this is the summary of this mechanical thrombectomy. Age should be greater than 18 years, and NIHSS aspect should be greater than 6. Occlusion either in IC or M1, and onset to puncture means patient when present to ER to puncture should be less than 6 hours. And what is the state in Pakistan? Less than 10 centers capable of doing thrombectomy. Less than 1% eligible patient receive mechanical thrombectomy. And limited 24/7 imaging logistic challenges and no dedicated stroke networks. So what are the gaps? Lack of trained neurointerventionists, limited public awareness, referral delays, absence of standardized protocols. So what is the take-home message of this presentation? Fast imaging and selection saves neuron, mechanical thrombectomy improves survival and recovery, and multidisciplinary coordination is essential. And how can we optimize workflow? Is direct to CT and direct to angio reduces workflow delays. Door to needle should be less than 60 minutes and door to puncture should be less than 90 minutes. And coordination and readiness are crucial. So we have to be prepared. Summary, mechanical thrombectomy is now a standard of care for large vessel occlusion stroke. Evidence robust up to 24 hours. Pakistan needs structured implementation strategy and collaboration across subspecialties is vital. What are the future directions? Future directions that we need to have AI-based imaging trials, next generation thrombectomy devices, and improved pre-hospital stroke system. So these are the references. Thank you very much for your patience.